Good morning and happy Friday to everybody out there. Welcome to American Scousers morning coffee or tea. And it's Reckless Friday. It's Gally and Cozzy back together. I think it's been almost a month since me and you did a show together because you
Is
did
it
one
good?
with Tim. We had 1 week off, and then Gordo filled in last week when you
Oh
needed
yeah,
to tap out because a late sub.
that was a late show.
It was a late shift. It was almost like Florian Wirtz. Kazi took the approach of warming up like Liverpool does, where basically half the players just play do keepy ups and the goalkeeper tries volleys into the cop and people boo them lately. So,
Yep.
but then again, if you play the way they do during the 90 minutes on the pitch, you should probably be expected to get booed during the pre-match and or post-match portions of things. But we are going to talk a little bit about the Galatasaray debacle, the approach, the output, what we think it means a little later. But I wanted to start, Kazi. I know you're a worldly football man, so I'm sure you paid attention to a lot of the matches, at least watching the scoreboards, watching the results, how they were happening, watching them in the background. So thought we would spend a little time here, talk about some of the other fixtures, and then we'll get into the Galatasaray match. And of course, we'll talk about the debacle that is Spurs.
Yeah.
So why don't we start with them as our Champions League preview, and we can give them about as much time as Idor Tudor gave the backup goalkeeper. So I got to ask you, I've seen some crazy shit in my life. There were two howlers, no question.
Yeah.
But yanking a teenager that you've literally started out of the blue in a Champions League tie in the round of 16 after 17 minutes. I've seen it called unprofessional. I've seen it saying it's a death nail in this kid's top level club career. I saw one person actually compare it to Karius in Kiev. Like, this is the type of moment that players don't come back from because it's more mental than it is a physical mistake. Like, to our point, we were having the Gerrard slip conversation, and for anyone at me, no one is comparing Steven Gerrard to, Karius or this kid. But the moment of it is different. So for you, Kaz, like, when that happened, were you watching it? Did you know it was happening? Did you read about it on Twitter when everyone exploded? What were your thoughts?
No, I watched it. I did watch it. By the way, I actually think he's an all-right keeper.
I actually like him. I think he's better than Vicario. I think it was the right call with a bad result.
Probably not the right call in that game, I would say.
Well, you probably give him a start before that if you're planning to make this move.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, I felt sorry for him a little bit. I feel sorry for him a lot. But some of the mistakes, one of the mistakes at least, is caught out by him trying to play out from the back. And, against that very high-pressuring Atletico Madrid side, which I think sometimes it's know your opponent. I think there is a part of that. I find the side, Gal, to kind of go all in on and batter Spurs at the moment. And I'll tell you why. Yes, it's a howler of a first 20. But it could have been 6 or 7. And they did stop the rot. They did score a couple. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know.
Yeah.
And let's be frank, if they're 4-0 down and we're saying what they are and things like that. By the way, Porro scores like 4 minutes after they score the fourth. I would expect the Simeone side to go out and win 6-7-1 and really go, right, we're going to end this now when the away leg's nothing. None of our concern. Spurs do kind of dig in a little bit and kind of show some morality of a football team, which is handy, right? But I just felt like when they scored the second goal, the Solanke goal, I was looking going, if that was 10 minutes earlier and they get a third, you can actually sit down with them, the team, and go, Harler first 20, all individual mistakes. They weren't cutting us open at will. They weren't. There was all individual mistakes. We got it together. We got our shit together. And we can all go from there. Yeah, man. I'm finding it difficult to kind of go all in on that game. I can batter Spurs for the other games. But I just feel like in that game, when it's individual errors, and it's not like, oh my God, in the first 20 minutes, you're being ripped to shreds. Everyone's being pulled everywhere. It wasn't. It was just all individual errors. Do you know what I mean? So I find that I always find that it's about Liverpool's West Ham game. I know when we win 5-2 and everyone goes, oh, then we were great. We scored four set pieces. Basically, do you know what I mean? As much as, yes, we're great, and I will never not celebrate Liverpool scoring 5 in a game. Yes, it's great. But we weren't creating chances at will. We weren't, you know what I mean, opening them up time and time again. It wasn't like that. And I felt like that was the same here. I just feel like, no, if there hasn't been, if that game was in isolation and Igor Tudor had picked up results in the league games and that game's in isolation, I think people have a bit more of my thinking a little bit. But because it's on the back of getting consistently in the league and then that happens, I understand the big hoo-ha around it, really.
Yeah, I mean, losing 4-1, I think it was, at home to an out-of-form Crystal Palace when they're preparing for a European fixture in the week, it's just, I mean, maddening. But we'll stay in North London, I guess. North London forever on this podcast for a few minutes at least. Arsenal 1-1 Leverkusen. Leverkusen did exactly what they set up to do, try to be tough, make Arsenal work for it. They got their goal early in the half. It felt like they were going to get to the end and have something to hold on to. I've seen it argued all over the place. Dive, no dive, Champions League penalty, non-league penalty. There's no question that Madueke goes down soft and easy often. But in this instance, there's a little contact. Do you think they get it right? Do you think they get it wrong? Do you want to see refs just, swallow the whistle with 3 minutes to go in stoppage time when you're helping a huge favorite pick up a point they probably, or a result they probably didn't deserve on the day?
Yeah. Is every contact a pen?
Well, that's my problem. Yeah, this is my issue.
If he doesn't get the ball, was every contact a fucking pen? I just feel like that's the stage we're at right now with the overanalyzing of football by people who feel like they haven't played the game before.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a pen. I think it's extremely soft if it's a pen. Okay, you get lucky sometimes and things like that. And Arsenal have been getting lucky all season. And listen, that can happen. Liverpool, I keep saying this to people, and I see fans, Liverpool fans, in a bit of a hoo-ha about the draws that they're getting and things like that. Liverpool had the same draws in 21-22.
Correct.
We just did. Like, whether we like it or not, we did. Yes, we played City in the semi-final of an FA Cup, and that was, you know what I mean? And we played Chelsea in a final. But that still might happen to Arsenal. They could still play City in the semi-final and still play Thingy in a final. We played Chelsea in a League Cup final. They're playing City in a League Cup final. Do you know what I mean? So it's apples and oranges in that sense. In the semi-final of the League Cup, they played Chelsea. So as much as it's like annoying and things like that, but going back to the main case of, I'm at the stage with Arsenal where I think they can win all four, but I don't know if they will win at least one. I feel like it's getting to the stage. The league, they got such an advantage in the league because of the points, of course, and City aren't great. Yeah. But I think this ties into the Champions League week. If City go out, which they probably will go out, that they're going to be playing once a week. And the manager can just get them set once a week, Pep Guardiola, and go, we just win the next, they're just winning the next 9. There's no excuses anymore. Oh, we play midweek, we got this on and all that. No. We are winning these next 8-9 games, whatever it is.
And then they use the League Cup final to put real doubt into them by beating them on a pitch at Wembley for a trophy.
This is the point, yeah. And I've just got a feeling, Gal, that it can be a little bit more of a hindrance for them. For example, they're playing at Everton at home, and everyone will feel like that's a bit of a slam dunk this weekend.
Haven't lost on the road since December.
Everton got the second best away record in the league. They shit at home, Everton. And trust me, I know by a man who watches a lot of Everton. I know when and I don't think that's an easy ride, because now with the Leverkusen game, it's not like they went out and whacked Leverkusen 3-0. It's a bit like this game with Spurs now with Liverpool. If you go to Galatasaray, do the decent thing, whack them 3-0, you can kind of go, well, we can rest at 2 or 3. We can give Gravenberch a day off against Spurs if you wanted to. But yeah, it's not going to happen. I don't know with Arsenal, man. I'm still a bit. But what I would say is that I think a lot of English clubs have been surprised that other teams can play football. And like, oh, they can just pass through our midfield instead of just lumping it long and playing for throw-ins and corners.
I was working my way around. You mentioned City. What a match. First off, before we even talk about City playing poorly, or we talk about Pep overthinking it again, let's not gloss over the 45-minute performance by Valverde. And he was great all match. He was the best player on the pitch. It wasn't even close. And the talent that guy has. I mean, we've been saying it for a few years on this show and on. Yeah. I know you're a big fan like I am. If you gave me a blank check and told me I could literally sign any player in the world, I think for 3 years it would be him.
He's what people think Szoboszlai is.
Yes.
He's what people think he is. No, Szoboszlai wants to be Valverde. It's not the other way around. Valverde has everything. He is the complete midfielder. Literally the complete midfielder.
And honestly, he's a better right back as well, because we've seen that.
Yeah, he did this thing there, yeah.
But what a goal. Quickly on that third goal, the class and the technique to loop the ball over the defender, get your body right, and not rush the shot with the monster keeper running out at you. Donnarumma is not a small man. The scar on his face is there for a reason, because he was willing to take a boot to the head to save a shot. He's not the smartest Italian either, to be totally honest. So when he starts coming out and Valverde slots that home, I was in a pub and I saw it out of the corner of my eyes, and I stopped everyone around me. People who literally argue with me and get mad at me when I change the TV off some World Baseball Classic game to put on like a live footy match because they don't like footy. They stopped and were literally in awe.
Yeah.
Like they were like, no. He didn't. What? Did he mean to do that? I'm like, oh, yeah. Absolutely meant to do that. And the first touch to get it onto his other peg to loop it over is just, it's just class. But
Mark Gay hasn't played against a centre mid like that in the Premier League, has he? He's go, where's he come from?
He did look, I will say this, and I'm this is not a time to slate Gay. He's a good player, but he did look like a player who had never made a Champions League appearance. He's never played
against so many good players in one team before.
That was what I was just going to say.
He's never played against so many. He's played against Haaland, of course, and your prime Salahs and shit like that, whatever. But he hasn't played against where there's like 8 of them, and you're like, oh my god, these are just running everywhere. They're running off.
He doesn't even train with that many good players, which is an indication or maybe an indictment at City, to be honest.
International stage, you might play against France, and you know what I mean, whatever. But yeah, I feel like, again, it's just Real Madrid being Real Madrid in the Champions League, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's what they do, and this is what happens consistently. We say it every year, they might fall off, and then before you know, they just get the shit together in March, and then we're away again. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know with Real Madrid this season. I don't know with City this season. I think this is massive. I think this is beneficial for City going out. I really do. Because they aren't the same City that can compete on multiple fronts, and they are. People keep saying, "Well, Arsenal on for the quadruple." So is City. If you want to, pedantic. So is City about it. Like City are in.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've got the squad to consistently do it.
Yeah, I think the fact that they went out and bought 2 players, and we know they've bought players in January before, but the fact they felt that they had to not just buy 2 players, they had to start starting them every match of every game right away.
That's why they signed Prem Ready, didn't they? They signed Prem Ready so they could do that, which is
because they knew that they were deficient. And I don't know what happened to Phil Foden. I don't know what. I mean, the fact Foden's not getting on the pitch in a Champions League tie against Real Madrid seems odd to me. Maybe there's an injury, something else going on.
Yeah.
Fell out. Maybe he was drunk the night before. It is Phil Foden.
No, I'm at the stage, Gal, I think, with City, where it's a bit like, again, the January's proved that they signed Prem Ready, because they went through it this season before where they signed loads of players in January, but they weren't really Prem Ready. They haven't got time. Then they never had time really to build up Kusanov to the level, or Nico Gonzalez to the level, and players like that. So this year they went, we're going to sign the 2 best players in the Premier League that are available.
Yeah.
They signed them and turn the season around, and they might end up with a trophy or 2 at the end of it.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they will end up with at least one, because I do think they're going to win the League Cup. So let me ask you, we'll go away from the individual matches if you want to touch on either of them, Chelsea, Newcastle. I mean, I guess we should give a little bit of props to Bodo Glimt. No one wants to go there, by the way. Arsenal wants no part of it. If they struggled in a first leg at Leverkusen, a first leg on a plastic pitch, knowing that team is not afraid. I don't know if you saw the clip. One of that win was 5 consecutive wins for Bodo Glimt in the Champions League, and one of their supporters shaved his head in the crowd as an homage to the kid from United who can't come there. I'll find it and send it to you. It's freaking genius.
No, Bodo Glimt's interesting because I agree with you, because I think it's in the Arctic Circle. It's like freezing.
It is. It's the most northern played, or the furthest north played match ever in a European competition.
Could you be asked, Gal? Could you be asked?
No, and can you imagine Arteta on that touchline at 0-0 in the 80th minute, kicking every single ball, freezing, angry, chewing on his lips?
When the balls bounce off the plastic pitch over players' heads, because it's so bouncy.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And I'll tell you what, man, they know how to score a counterattacking goal, so you better not give them a 2-goal lead. Like, they're gonna beat Sporting in this tie, in my opinion, because they'll do just what they did to Inter. They have something to hold on to. They'll play well enough defensively, stout. They'll have a good game plan. They have a very good manager, and they have some good players. Like, I love how everyone loves a darling, but then doesn't give them any credit when they actually play well. It's not like they're doing smash and grabs. They beat Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. They beat Juventus on their pitch. Like, it's an amazing story, and it's good for them. And honestly, it's good for this Champions League because there are big players, and there's going to be some great ties, I think, in the semifinals. You get like a PSG, Real Madrid.
Did you knock out Inter?
They did knock out Inter in a 2-legged tie.
That makes it. That embarrasses our Inter away when everyone was going, it's an unbelievable win.
But they were in the Champions League final last year, so I guess you give them some credit. Let me ask you, though, and then we'll move on to some Liverpool topics, but what...
Do we have to?
We really don't. We're going to try to stay away from them. What is it about the Champions League? Like, we've all talked about for one, what a breath of fresh air it was to just watch some open play footy. And I saw an outswinging corner kick and I almost fell off my bar stool. And there was and I swear there were a couple instances like Chelsea looked genuinely shocked that players weren't trying to crowd the goalkeeper. They were all in the 6-yard box. Like, aren't we supposed to start a scrum? What's going on here? And then you get an outswinger and they looked like, it was almost like it was the corner taken quickly, and the Barca players just turned around and were like, we conceded. They just turned around and they were like, you're allowed to kick the ball on the outside?
Yeah.
Question mark? Like, it would be if a short corner happened nowadays in the Premier League. I think all defenders would just think that there was a delay in the match or something because they don't understand why it's not taking another minute to come in from the corner.
The Champions League delivers every year. It just delivers every year, and like there's never been there's always like a couple of ties. Yeah, you have a few stinkers, of course, and that can happen. But there's always a couple of games where I like this new format. I think it's great.
I love it. I think it's great.
I think it's kind of re-energized the competition a little bit. Man, I think all the English teams have just felt like people were just surprised by this, and I do think there's a part of this of just hyping up our own players and hyping up because we watch them every week and we don't watch every single Real Madrid game and Barca game or whatever that is, and then when we actually come up against them, you're like, oh my god, these are good as well. Well, yeah, Real Madrid are good at footy. Yeah, we would have thought it. Yeah, PSG are really good at footy. Do you know what I mean? I was completely against playing Galatasaray. I was completely against it. Did not want. I wanted to let go Madrid.
Yep, me too.
Because I just felt like they could embarrass you. I just felt like they could score 3 or 4 in 20 minutes because they're that good. Like on the attack with Osimhen, and I know Icardi and Sane didn't play, but do you know what I mean? Like those type of players can just embarrass you for 20 minutes. And they did embarrass Liverpool, in effect, because Canate got embarrassed every time the ball went to him. So, yeah, I just feel like people were more surprised. Like, watching McAllister turn around is like watching a Boeing 747 turn around. And I'm just at the stage where, I know I'm kind of touching on Liverpool, but we have to mention, of course, that the manager's been complaining for months about low blocks. He plays against a team that's wide open and then can't create anyway. So where do we at? Where do we at?
Yeah, I mean, goals change matches. The goal definitely changed that match. But let's be real. For all the people who want to whine and cry about getting the goal chalked off, I have more issue with their goal being chalked off than I do fighting that our goal should have stood, their second goal. So we easily could have lost that match 2-0. I do think that we've talked about it on Discord prior. And I should mention, if you're in the chat, like Turkish Stallion, Alan, drop your comments. Good morning, everyone. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe to the channel and post it, share it. But the miss is early. I mean, the Verts miss. I mean, and I understand he's got immense talent. I'm not one that's been negative to Verts this year. I don't think we're utilizing him at his best. I don't love him on the left. I never have. I don't want to see him on the left. He wasn't bought to play on the left. If the answer to this match tactically was to play Verts on the left, then I would have left him on the bench to come in and play in the 10. Like, if you had to play with that midfield 3, which is questionable itself because all 3 of them played poorly, to be honest. How much of it for you was the crazy atmosphere? Like, I have heard some supporters say it's the loudest loudest experience they've ever been. Now, my argument to that would be, well, I guess you didn't go earlier this season. The players should have known what they were about to get into. But there has been some leaked reports, and I'm sure if Tamuchin were here, he would make sure we knew it was probably true. These cheating fraud pricks.
Speakers.
That it's not only speakers, that they literally pump it in for the entire 90 minutes, including the warm-up. Because one of the supporters was saying it was just as loud during warm-up with 5,000 in the stadium as it was when 35,000 were in the stadium, supposedly whistling. The players have said it was difficult. Virgil even intimated that it might have been enhanced. I think he said an enhanced experience here. In one of his quotes, is that sour grapes? Like, I don't want my captain talking about that, because this goes back to my old Bill Parcells adage, the football coach in America. If you give an athlete an excuse, they will take it.
They will take it.
And that's why I don't like it from the players, the coach, the manager, the supporters. But do you think the atmosphere had a lot to do with it, a little to do with it, or do you think it was they just weren't up for the challenge?
Yeah, they went up for the fight, yeah. They went up for the challenge. They were there in September. You've just played there. What are we talking about? Like, this is not... What did you expect? Okay, oh my God, but he played speakers. Fucking give me a break. Give me a break, really. The first 5 minutes gets massively blown out of proportion as well. Yes, Liverpool had chances. Vert should score. Probably should score 2 Verts. They're all just because of Galatasaray mistakes. It's not like Liverpool were cutting them open at will, was it? No, we had a half-decent press. They were making a mistake and we created a chance. It's probably... I mentioned the City game alone after the game when I said that it was probably the most angry I've been all season. That was the most angry I've been all season. I am still livid about that game. Livid. Because I feel like we learned nothing. And bad football teams don't learn. And that's the... Honestly, Gal, it's my biggest... When I analyse footy a little bit, right, and I say, what's a bad football team? They don't learn the lessons. Because you can play different styles of footy, whether it be like, the Sean Dyche style or whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as you're learning lessons and you are winning footy matches. Liverpool have just played exactly the same way as we did against Galatasaray in September. We literally had the book on it. You've had the stats, there you go. You've had all the information that you've needed. You played against them. And you went out there and done exactly the same. I think it's the worst performance from the manager since he took over in terms of tactically. I think it's an appalling tactical setup. And I'll tell you a few reasons. Frimpong and Gomez have been injured all season. They're in and out. Is that fair to say? I think we all agree they haven't been fully fit. The only way that Frimpong and Gomez should be on the same pitch at the same time is if Gomez is playing centre half and he's playing right back. That's it, right? Why are both of them both on the right hand side? Because if Joe Gomez pulls up, we're fucked again. If Frimpong pulls up, we're fucked again, right? And never mind both of them pulling up at the same time, right? We're fucked. Let's go to the other side. Florian Wirtz playing left wing is the most maniacal thing. You have signed the most creative player in Germany, one of the best players in the world, as a number 10 for 115 million. And you put him on the left wing. Bear in mind, by the way, as his first start coming back from a back injury, and then you're asking the kid to go and do dogs up and down the line chasing fullbacks. That's what you're asking the kid.
That made no sense. It was probably the thing that drove me the craziest of the entire match, to be honest. And there were a lot of reasons to be mad, because I would say, honestly, if you were rating every Liverpool starter out of 10, not one of them outside of the keeper gets a score over a 5.5.
I agree with that.
I don't think any of them were any good.
Yeah, the keeper.
And I do think the keeper, if we should have started with him, because it was the only positive of the night was you're forced to play on 72 hours. You inexplicably don't get a start in either of the last 2 rounds of the FA Cup to prepare you in case. And if you want to criticize the manager, and I've been one who's been critical, but I've been one who's like, give him time, give him grace. I don't think they're going to fire him. I got to be honest. One of the worst squad management things he's done is not play the keeper once since January, when you know that at any moment, Alisson, not only has Alisson had a down year when it comes to the distribution and the kicking, and it's clearly part of him, but to have the kid not play every once in a while to make sure he is match fit when called upon. Now, to his credit,
he was great.
He was great. And to Virgil's credit, it only took 10 minutes for him to remember that he uses his left foot, because when he passed that first ball back to him in the first 5 minutes and kicked it to his right foot, and the guy kicked it straight up in the air, and then Twitter goes off, that's why he's no good and not good enough for Liverpool. I'm like, you idiots. he shouldn't have ever gotten the ball. It was a hospital pass, and it came to his wrong foot from the captain.
It's even just that. That's its own separate entity of what he's going to play. But even in the game, how McAllister does 90 minutes is beyond me.
Oh,
that kid is fucking finished. He is finished. I'm sorry, and I love the lad. I love him. I mentioned a little analogy last night on the Thursday show about this team. I love them, but I'm not in love with them. I'm not in love with them anymore. They fucking. I love you all. I will love you all for what you did last season. Van Dijk. I'm at the stage, Gal, where this is just Groundhog Day again. We'll have a few bright sparks of winning 5 and 6, and then there's a Wolves around the corner, and we all know it's around the corner. We all know it's going to come eventually. I am so annoyed with this fella, mate. And I can sit there and I have loads of sympathy for the manager on the recruitment side. You didn't replace Luis Diaz. You didn't get a Mark Gay. Okay, sound. I have sympathy for you. You don't have the tools in your locker there to really play your best. And fine. If I went out, Gal, and asked the other 19 Premier League managers, do you think you have a complete squad? 0 of them. 0 will say yes. They will all say they want to improve somewhere. But what all the other managers have to do, Gal, you have to adapt to your surroundings and your circumstances. This manager is continuing to do the same shit over and over again. I mentioned an analogy a few last week or so on Discord with Mo Salah. I seen Brendan Rodgers and Jurgen Klopp. By the way, one bad manager, one great manager.
Why are you talking about Brendan that way?
look at 2 players who are getting old, clearly not the same player, and protect them. Protect them by changing the position and milking the last ounce of football that they have left in them. So, for example, for people who are getting out here, 13-14 Gerrard, where we should win the league, he's unbelievable. I think he gets like 16. He plays the number 6. He gets Henderson and Coutinho around him, loads of energy.
Yep.
Sadio Mane. People forget that 21-22 season. That first 6 months, mate, he is appalling. He is finished.
But he looks absolutely done.
We sign Luis Diaz. He goes, I'm playing him down the middle and I'm milking the last ounce of footy. We sell him for 30 million and Bayern Munich couldn't wait to get him up the door. They couldn't wait to bin Sadio Mane because he was done. He was done. Jurgen Klopp did it. Why can't we protect Liverpool's greatest ever player? One of. Why can't we protect him? Why can't we keep foaming him out on the right wing and then hooking him on the hour mark in the Champions League game when you're chasing the game? Why can't he just try and adapt to something and go, you know what? We're just going to play Salah and Ekatike down the middle for 10 minutes.
It's what we asked for. We saw it for when we thought Isak was coming back. We saw a little bit of the 4-4-2 and the diamond shapes, the 2 up top.
Yep.
And then Mo went to AFCON and we thought, hey, maybe this gets the best out of Mo. He plays a little bit more centrally. He doesn't have to take on fullbacks. He gets in between. I mean, I'd argue at this point, if you're preparing for life with Isak, even later this season or next season, and that might include Ekatike on the left, why not try Ekatike on the left and literally play Mo through the center for a little bit? Give it a whirl. I mean, to your point, what can it hurt to try something different?
Lose games. We lose games anyway. What? At least if Liverpool lose a game and you've tried it and the goals didn't work, you can sit there and go, listen, lads, I tried it. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to spice it up. I want to protect. And you explain the analogies that I'm giving you all that like that. And listen, I'm a moron. I'm just a fan. I expect Arne Slot to know about football more than me. Because he should know more about football more than me. That's why he's in charge of Liverpool Football Club. But even I will know that you have a due diligence as a football manager to protect your footy players. And go to Mo Salah. Clearly, by the way, Mo Salah has not got the pace anymore, but clearly he's still got an eye for a goal. He still has an eye for a goal. He's contributed in like Liverpool's last 10 games. He's contributed like 8 of them. He's had an assist or a goal. Just fucking try it. But no, instead, we'll keep farming it out on the right wing. So, and by the way, for the other argument is Frimpong cannot play right wing. He is not a right winger. And I'll tell you why, for all these like fans who go, oh, he's quick. Yeah, he's quick. Our centre-halves and our full-backs haven't got an outlet ball with him because he can't make the ball stick. Because he's not big enough. He's not strong enough to make the ball stick. Liverpool, when we were so unbelievable under Klopp, they had Sadio Mane and Mo Salah. You could just literally ping the ball to me from 70 yards and lick my chest and I'll make it stick. Then Liverpool are on. We can't do it with Florian Wirtz left wing and Frimpong playing right wing.
Well, and it doesn't help when your centre forward can't hold up, has no hold up play either.
Exactly, but again, so you have no outlet ball. So we put Frimpong right wing as an outlet ball on pace. That's fine. But instead of just going, you know what, Kirkes, by the way, was fucking embarrassing against Galatasaray. He was awful, dreadful. Why don't you just go? We'll just tuck Joe Gomez in. Joe Gomez, you're not going over. You're not even going past the halfway line today. We're going to play a little bit of a three at the back, and we'll just use Kirkes' pace as an outlet. No, we'll just keep doing the same shit consistently. Our midfield gets outnumbered consistently. By the way, this is where my doubts came from, Gal. I know I'm on a bit of a rant here, but that's fine. This is where my doubts came from last year. We were getting turned around in games last year when we were winning 2-0. All these games that we won 2-0 and we were amazing. No, we were getting turned around before we scored the first. We were getting turned around. And I always felt to myself going, fucking hell, we've won the game there 2-0, but they had 3 or 4 chances where they had a 3-on-3 or a 4-on-4, and an half-decent side beats us. That's what's happening now. This midfield was getting turned around last year. It's literally getting turned around. I can't see how you don't play Joe Gomez. By the way, Canate, we already know how bad he was against Galatasaray. That's also protecting Canate by protecting Joe Gomez, going, Joe, you're not doing dogs up and down the line today. You're not doing the dog lines right up and down. You're standing next to Canate. You're going to protect him 5-10 yards away from him. Protect him as well because he's all over the gap. And we'll just use Kirkes' pace. Because the last thing I want right now is Kirkes defending. My God. Just send him up there and let you just ping balls to him and try an outlet ball. But no.
Yeah.
No, we'll just do the same thing over and over again, Gal. We'll just do that. Anyway,
we'll move off the Galatasaray match, but 2 big things that are coming out. Obviously, Liverpool this week. I haven't talked to you since the Gravenberch contract, 6-year extension. It always shocks me when they say it. Maybe it's because he's been around for so long and he has the jib of an older looking guy, right? He's tall, he's lanky, the mustache, everything that he doesn't look like he's 23 years old.
Yeah.
When they said that, they're like, and he signs a 6-year extension, the 23-year-old. And I'm thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, he's 23. Obviously, there's 2 parts to it, in my opinion. I'll give you my side of it first. One, I think they have been talking with both Szoboszlai, Gravenberch. I think the Gravenberch deal is a little bit easier to get completed. And I think the club wanted to complete that deal first, maybe as a benchmark, maybe as, let's be real, maybe as a plan B should Szoboszlai eventually move on or refuse to sign a deal and they decide they have to sell him for the value that he's at. I think he's going to ask for more money. I think his agent, based on this season, would be asking for more. If you had to sign one of those 2 players and you're getting them for the 5-6 years, which takes them through their prime, you trying to get the more, in my opinion, and people are going to say this is crazy, the more versatile Gravenberch or the potential current player of the year in Szoboszlai? Club player of the year.
Oh, man. I do think age makes a big difference.
Because I think it's 2.5 years they are apart.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Listen, first things first, Galatasaray sign a new deal. Great. One last thing Liverpool needs to worry about.
That's every time they sign a new contract, I'm happy about it because it's one less they have to piss me off about running into the last year.
Indeed. I'm finding the Szoboszlai thing a little bit tedious in terms of if people just want to go and play for Real Madrid, go and play for Real Madrid, but just stop. Liverpool should stop being snookered all the time. Like, stop trying this like prolonged outlets of like, oh yeah, we can convince him, or if he wants to fucking go, just go.
So there's 2 years left on his deal. I ask you now, if come the end of the World Cup, he does not sign a contract, are you selling him?
Yeah.
I am too.
Because I'll tell you why, Gal, as well. First of all, Liverpool probably get about 80 or 100 million for him. That's one thing. But number 2, I'm at the stage, Gal, where I genuinely fancy a rebuild. I can't be bothered with that for them. I know Szoboszlai, by the way, I want Szoboszlai to be part of a rebuild.
I know you do.
Of course I do. Same with Gravenberch, of course. I want Szoboszlai at Liverpool Football Club. If you don't want to be here, mate, sound. There's other fucking footy players. I don't care. Like, there's loads of footy players. I keep saying this all the time. As much as, yes, you have to be a certain level to play for Liverpool. Well, I've just watched teams around Europe battered the whole the English sides, and there's all quality players all over the world who can come in and kind of do jobs for you. I'm at the stage, Gal, with this team and with all the players. You don't want to be here. Fuck off then.
I kind of feel like we've talked about the need for, and especially now as we've seen how the league has changed a bit. Like, the league is now looking like it needs a real 6 again, like having an anchor.
But I think the league will fix this. I think you'll see change in the summer where it's like 10 seconds for the corner.
Oh, I think the rules are coming, but I still think the physicality of the league. I think when you see teams like City winning with a guy like Rodri, Zubimendi and Rice change the way Arsenal play.
Fabinho, I love him.
Right. And then I mean even guys like Xhaka going too, there's some really Paulinho, there's some talented players in those positions. And I wonder if part of what makes Gravenberch in their mind is they're comfortable with him playing as that deepest midfielder, but they're also confident, I believe, that if they signed a Stiller or a Wharton or an Elliot Anderson, if they got themselves a 6 that they felt could sit back there in front of the 2 and distribute Zubimendi, I mean, they tried to sign him. I think they're confident that they could push Gravenberch into that 8 position where McAllister plays, where Szoboszlai plays sometimes, and then still play with Wirtz. I'm with you. I think the rebuild starts with a big-time midfield signing this summer. We both have talked about Wharton for years. Elliot Anderson's name gets bandied about. I think feels to me like he's going to go to the highest bid from the Manchester clubs. It just, maybe I'm just believe that's going to happen, and maybe I'm just manifesting that to happen because I want Wharton here. And the best thing for Liverpool is Wharton not to be on the plane to the World Cup, because he gets on that plane to the World Cup. People are going to find out he's the 2nd or 3rd best midfielder behind Declan Rice in England, and it's not Elliot Anderson, in my opinion. But it does feel like it needs a rebuild, and it kind of feels like McAllister's got 1 foot out the door, and with 1 year left on his deal, unless they can get terms with Jones, I'm worried he'll be out the door. And then you have Szoboszlai, so here we go again. The one spot of the pitch last year, we said we have 4 good midfielders, and then we bought Florian Wirtz. And it's our biggest need, but it's also our biggest need, needing a right fullback and 2 wingers.
I felt like it was our biggest need last season. I've been crying for a fucking midfielder for ages. I just felt like the lads don't have the physicality. They don't win enough battles off the ball. I felt like that last season.
They clearly did too, because they tried to sign Zubimendi the year before.
I know this is the thing. So there's been Caicedo, Tchouaméni, fucking Zubimendi. There's been a couple of others as well who we've missed out on. Jude Bellingham, you could argue. So there's been players that they've tried to fit around. And listen, the number 6 might have not been there for them in the summer, and that's why they never did it. And that's fine. That is what it is. There's no reason in the summer why they should have felt like, hey, we're desperate for a number 6. We have other things to do. But right now it is. We probably need it like a proper centre midfielder. But in terms of the rebuild conversation, Gal, I'm at the stage, and again, it's I love you, but I'm not in love with you. And there's far too much water under the bridge here where I'm just like a bit, I can't be arsed looking at you. Honestly, you're doing the same mistakes consistently, and that's what makes a bad footy team. You do the same shit consistently. Szoboszlai's another one. Again, been brilliant. He was poor against Galatasaray, by the way, so poor. But I'm at that stage with him, at the age he's at, and I've mentioned this before, and I will keep saying it. I want him to go away to Galatasaray. We're 1-0 down inside 8 minutes. There's space all over the park if you attacked, to grab Liverpool by the scruff of the neck and go, this isn't happening today. This isn't happening. What do you mean? I'm going to fucking drag us by kicking and screaming. I don't care if you're good or not. And we're going to fucking get something out of this game. And I don't see it enough. I see it. I see him playing massively well most of the time when Liverpool are playing kind of well. I want him when Liverpool... I'm not trying to compare him to Steven Gerrard. It's a fake fallacy. Steven Gerrard's the greatest of all time, in my opinion, up there with Zidane. But I'm just at the stage where I want him to grab McAllister by the scruff of the neck on a pitch and go, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, be the leader that I want you to be. People are talking about him being the next Liverpool captain. Yes, I want you to lead them by example when we're struggling. You don't need the captain's armband to be a captain. Jamie Carragher wasn't the captain, but he was one of the captains of Liverpool. But he wasn't the captain, was he? But he dragged people along with him. He was like, no.
But he was clearly one of, if not the most vocal leader on the pitch. Okay. Steven Gerrard led. But he led in his way.
He played Olga, and he comes off the bench. He sets the example. There's that famous thing when he's at Man United away and he grabs Virgil van Dijk and goes,
that's what the finger at Van Dijk. I mean,
he grabs Virgil van Dijk at the time. He's the best centre half in the world at the time, and it's not close. And he's grabbing him by the neck going, what are you playing at? Like, yes, And I want to see that from him because I think he has that in him. You're the captain of Hungary. Like you've got that in you. I just want to see more. I don't know, man. I just feel like there's been too many games this season, where we've lost, and I don't know. There's just been no fight. There's been no heart to get back into the game, and they just accepted it. I had this conversation yesterday on the Thursday show. We accepted the 1-0 there. A fucking Liverpool Football Club competing on 3 fronts.
Yeah,
and we're accepting a 1-0 defeat.
It is a good point. There was a period late in stoppage time. I think it was like 92nd, 93rd minute, and we get a goal kick. And Mamadashvili rushes up to try to take it. He's going to kick it long, trying to get us up the pitch. And Virgil basically tells him, we're going to go home with this 1-0. There's no chance that ball's coming back at us, and we're going to get out of here 2-0. And that's weird too. Like, as much as I don't get me wrong, if you're gonna lose a match in a 2-legged tie, lose it 1-0, not 2-0.
I agree with that.
But the fact that the captain and maybe arguably the greatest center back in the game, or one of the greatest center backs in the game and of the last 10 years, is worried about that Galatasaray team, who hasn't really made a foyer forward in the last 10, 15 minutes because they were tired. Yeah, it was alarming. Real quick, because I want to do a little bit on the Spurs. 2 quick questions. One, do you think we see Alisson Becker in goal on the first day of next season? And should he be?
No to both.
And 2, do you think that they turn this around at Anfield sheerly based on the crowd, the energy, the moment? I mean, Galatasaray was better than that against Juventus first leg and much poorer than Juventus on the road, but they did figure out a way to score a couple goals. But Juventus goes down to 10 men and still probably should score in stoppage time to send it to extra time.
Yeah. I don't think we go through. And that's not me being negative. And I'll tell you why. I just think they have Galatasaray have a mad 20 minutes where they could score 2 or 3. I just felt like that's the type of team that they are. I feel like, and by the way, they play a team with no Sane, no Akari, like just no experience, like the experience plays. You get a load of young lads on the pitch. I just don't think we're that good, Carl. That's it. That's it. We're just not that good, which is fine. This season, I've seen Liverpool be poor more seasons than I've seen them be good in more seasons.
Right.
And I've looked at, I know what poor footy teams look like. I just don't think we're that good, and I just feel like that ground on Wednesday. I know what you're saying. It's Champions League night. It's feral. If Galatasaray have the first big chance or the first couple of big chances, it's going to be murder. There's going to be murder. And I just
it could get ugly. I mean, speaking of bad football sides, let's talk about Sunday in the match against Spurs. And I know it's easy to kick Spurs while they're down. And I was with you at the beginning of the year, arguing with people in the Discord that the squad was better than Chelsea's and might even be up there with some of the better squads in the league. Now, to be fair to them, they have a full squad on an injured list that play, and if they do go down, I mean, if they go down and it's true that they all have 50% reductions in salary, but with those also come fixed release clauses. There is literally it is going to be like putting a for sale sign in the middle of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Oh yeah.
And those players are going to be primed because there are players up and down that Spurs roster that teams will want all over Europe, not just.
I'll take a lot at Liverpool. I'll take 4 or 5. I'll take the 4 or 5. I'd have Van der Ven. I'd have Kudus. I like Papasar. I like Bergvall.
I think Bergvall has the biggest up, maybe the highest. Bergvall and Archie Gray both have really high ceilings.
I'll take Porto. I think he's a great guy. Yeah. I like the Porto guy. So yeah, there's a lot of quality there. But speaking of this, like this weekend, the things I kind of mentioned this yesterday on the Thursday show, but I just think if you're Spurs at the moment, I'll just put my house on Richarlison and Solanke and go. Just play 4-4-2. Go to Van der Ven and Romero. You're having nightmares this season. We know how it is. You're unlucky at every single turn. There's no more luck or whatever it is this season now. If you guys take more than 3 touches, you're getting subbed. You take 1 touch and you go long to Solanke and Richarlison.
I don't know if you saw, but Igor Tudor had just had his press conference.
Okay. Go on.
Romero and Paulinho are in concussion protocol and not allowed to play. Mickey Van de Ven is out with his red card.
So it's going to be Danzo and Dragerson.
Basuma has had a problem, and Connor Gallagher also looks like he will be out. So it does look like they have a serious injury front. They'll have, I mean, maybe they'll go with the back three and even play Archie Gray back there. Inexperienced center backs, but
Ben Davis isn't back, is he?
No, Ben Davis is still out injured. So it does look like they'll have a makeshift side. I'm with you though. I hate saying this because it gives the credit to those fucking blue nose shites. But if I were Spurs at this point, I'm pretty sure I would just start Richarlison every single match and literally just tell him, like, you need to drag us the way you did Everton over the line. Because let's be real, we've talked about it before. Richarlison and Pickford single-handedly between the two of them kept Everton up in 22. Yeah. I mean, they're going down. And to be honest, Richarlison feeds off that hate. The crowd loved him for it. I mean, they still chant his name like he's a hero.
They love him. They adore him.
And he earned it, though. He earned it.
I'm at the stage where I think if you're Spurs and you've got no centre halves, you're going to be doing Danzo, maybe an Archie Gray or whatever. By the way, I quite like Danzo as well. I would just be saying to them, we're playing these two. I want both of these two to go and stand on Konate's legs. I want you guys, lads, touching like that by arms. I want your fingers to touch. That's how close I want you to be. And we're just going to go long against Konate with Solanke and Richarlison. And we're just going to win fouls at the field. And we're just going to use our strength and our ability in the air and go long. And try and turn this game into a basketball match. And go to Liverpool. You keep moaning about low blocks. Right? We're not going to give you the low block. We're going end to end. Because our most fit players right now are the ones that play up front. And they're our best players right now. The keepers are garbage. The centre halves are finished. You could argue Porro's great. I think a doggy might be back. I'm not sure. And I would just target them two. I really would. And I'd just, listen. I'd be sitting Solanke and Richarlison down the room going, you're playing every game 90. You're playing every game 90 unless we're 3-4-0 up. You're playing every game 90. From now until the end of the season, you've got 9 games to save us. And genuinely, I think at this point that's your only way home, isn't it? Surely that's your only way home.
It feels like it is. Tim Muchin says that only makes this game scarier. Worry as a lifestyle people, but then he also says, as much as he hates Richarlison, guys like Richarlison keeps the Anfield crowd in a game as well, even in sleepier moments. And he is right there. If there's one thing the Liverpool crowd loves, it's to hate a hated opponent, and they absolutely hate him. So let's talk about Liverpool. The manager had his press conference today. Yeah. One of the quotes that came out, of course, he was asked about Rio and Gamoa and whether or not he was ready to start or play. And maybe for the first time, he basically said, Rio is a player who could start for us. He's been coming in for longer spells. He's definitely an option to start one of the next 3 games in the coming week. I never thought I'd see him start in Galatasaray away. I do feel like this is, if there was ever a landing spot for a start, it's a home match against a team that's going to play up and down the pitch and probably give you opportunities to run at them.
It's the worst team in the league.
Absolutely. Right now, it's not even a question. I mean, and that says a lot because Burnley isn't the best team in the championship right now. And Spurs are the worst team in the Premier League.
I mean, I think he does this weekend. Based on that quote, by the way, I didn't think this yesterday, but based on that quote, I think he does this weekend. Because I'd rather him do now than Brighton away. You could argue Galatasaray on a coin toss, but that could be a crazy game. I don't know. But
I feel like it's this one. You give him minutes against Galatasaray away because it could go extra time too, and you save him. But then I don't know if I start him in Brighton on the road, but I want him to get the same 30 to 20, 25 to 30 minutes. Like, I will say, I have been happy that a month ago, the manager said, you will see this kid play more often and longer minutes than you have the last few months. And that has happened. And I think it's leading up to him having being an option to start. And I think that coincides with Isak probably being back to training in the next 10 to 15 days. By all accounts, he'll be in team training by then. I swear he's ready right now, but they're just deathly afraid that Sweden will call him in.
I think it's the exact thing is you want to get ready for the Champions League game. And I think the argument is if you can sweat through the home leg against Galatasaray,
get him ready for PSG.
Get him right. I was saying this last night, and again, I've mentioned this. I think we were having a chat about it in Discord. That as much as yes, we don't want to play PSG and all this kind of stuff, but I think there's an argument if you just get Isak fit, let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens because he's a forward who can just carry sides over. Forwards carry shit sides over the lines so many times that it's a joke.
We watched him do it with a Newcastle team that was mediocre, and he got into the Champions League on 25 goals.
13-14 Liverpool. We've conceded 56 goals in the season.
Sturridge.
Because we have Sturridge and Suarez. It doesn't half help. Do you know what I mean? Even like this season, if Man City win the Premier League, it's because of Erling Haaland's goals. Liverpool last year won the Premier League because of Mo Salah's contributions in goals and assists. That's why Liverpool win the Premier League. So I'm at the stage where you just go, a straight knockout game, away from home, tight as you can against PSG, and then get them at home and go Isak up front, Ekitike on the left, Salah on the right, Vert in the middle, and go, if we're going out like this. And then the argument is, for those four, by the way, in those positions, because this is the important part, it has to be all four, Gal. The manager can sit there in the summer when he has his review with Sicky Dicky and Michael Edwards and go, see those four? That was what it was meant to be at the start of the season. But I haven't been able to get them on the pitch all at once. But if I would have had them on the pitch all at once, that wouldn't have happened. And you can have that conversation and you can kind of rationalise it going, well, yeah, because you wouldn't sign 3 players for 350 million plus Mo Salah and not get them on the pitch at the same time. And then you can swallow that. But
and then the other option you have from there is now you have a quality 5th choice attacker to bring on in Gakpo on the left. You can bring Rio on the right. Yeah. You don't have you have Gomez and Frimpong. You can allow Kirkez maybe to attack a little bit more freely because we know Ekitike is going to give him the space because he's going to drift into the left-hand pocket and try to the Isak thing to me. I and is not an excuse for the manager. I'm not doing that. But I do believe the Isak thing really changed things because all I've heard all year, especially when Ekitike rightfully has his youthful ups and down moments because he's such a young striker and he's so inexperienced. All I've heard is I don't know what a Liverpool goal looks like. They try to pass it into the net. They're constantly just this ticky-tack around the box and passing it around. Do you know who doesn't do that? True goal-scoring strikers because they don't look to pass. They just look to shoot. And I know Isak got a little bit of flack for that when he was trying to find his form early and get back to fitness. He was a little selfish at times. I had no problem with it whatsoever. I was like, that's why they made him the record English signing, because they wanted him to be the pinnacle goal scorer, the guy who takes the most shots, scores goals. His finishing rates are outstanding. Like, I do think what has been lost in this terrible season is that Liverpool did sign a wonderful footballer in Alexander Isak. But because we haven't got to see it, every week and month that goes by, it's like people are forgetting that at one point he was putting up numbers like Haaland, like Kane in a top league for a club without as much talent as we have to surround him.
And it's a great argument. I think I'm just, yes, in that aspect. I think it's more the fact of, if I'm the manager right now, and Isak does come back and we go out to City in the FA Cup and we go out to PSG or whatever, don't go out with just like a fucking whimper. Go out with that front four. And we can, me and you will sit here and most Liverpool fans will sit here and swallow and go, you know what? That was the right front four. And if we go out sound. But you get Vert in the 10, you get Isak up front, you get Ekitike on the left, you get Salah on the right. And you just say, whatever happens from here on out. And again, I keep saying it. Then the manager can sit there in a press conference and go, I've been wanting, and by the way, Liverpool could whack PSG 3-0, and he could sit there and go, I've been wanting to do that all season, but I haven't had a chance to get them all on the pitch. By the way, and they could have this conversation and go, all you people arguing over Rio, well, he was always meant to be 3rd choice this season. It was always meant to be Ekitike, Gakpo, and Rio. That was always the plan, but I've had to. And we could all sit there, and as much as I don't like the manager, we could all sit there and go, okay, yeah, I can go with you there. Okay, make sound, yeah.
Right. If Richard Hughes went up to the podium and said, we weren't going to tell you this, but we did buy Ekitike with an eye on him playing left alongside Isak. So that's why we didn't replace Luis Diaz. We thought we were buying.
And we can all sit there and go, okay, so we could all sit there still, and we can still have the conversation of, well, the manager still should have played his hand differently.
And we also would say, you should have went and got him we should have got a Malik Fofana, a young attacking winger, so you had another option for the right. Like, we still said Chiesa wasn't good enough the manager didn't like him, could have kept Elliott. There is always going to be ways to nitpick.
The Mark A's. And the manager can sit there, and Richard Hughes can do his little round table with the manager in the summer about this was meant to be the plan or was something daft like that. And we can all sit there and rationalise that. It doesn't mean that the manager shouldn't have still done better with the tools that he's had. I still believe he should have moved his pieces around better. He should have done better things in game. I think the manager's heads fell off. But I just don't want to go out with a whimper, Gal, that's all. I just don't want to go out with a whimper. If this lad's fit, he's going to have 9 games of the season, or say 5 games of the season when he comes back. All summer, if Sweden don't qualify, all summer, right for the new season, then let's see what happens. But I do not want to go out and sit there and go, well, Isak can only do 15 minutes. But at the end of the season against PSG and there's nothing else to win. Like, get the lad on the pitch for an hour. Oh, he's pulled up, he's out for 4 weeks. Sound, we're out of everything anyway. Let him focus, just sit off for the summer and get fit. We're out anyway. Do you know what I mean? I just don't want that to go. Anyway, the real conversation, mate, is that I think this weekend, I agree with you. I think it's more with Spurs as well. If you ask Pedro Porro who do you want to play against, Rio or Gakpo, he'll take Gakpo.
Oh, I'll take it.
Because of the pace. And Porro is rash as fuck. And I think Rio, as much as I adore Porro, I think he is suspect to a yellow. I think you can get him booked early in the first 10 and pin him in. And then I think we can all kind of go from there a little bit, you know what I mean? I also think as well for Rio, he deserves to play at Anfield in a major game.
Well, I think more than anything, I think he deserves his first league start, to be at home, let the crowd sing his song, sing his name. The other thing is we've talked about it before. Tim mentioned it. The crowd's had its ups and down moments, rightfully. They have all the right to be frustrated, to your point. They have all the right to still love this club, but not be in love with this club. And I don't think you're the only supporter. And I think the fact that you're from the city and you kind of know what that connection's like and how it supersedes football and life and all that shit, I do think it's understandable. I don't know who just rung the doorbell that's pissing off my dog, but I'm sure it's some door-to-door salesman that's going to get the wrath of my wife. But I think the way you look at things, the way we go forward, is starting Rio in this match. Do you think there'll be more rotation from that? Maybe Frimpong gets a start?
Yeah, I think Jones starts.
Jones, Frimpong, and Rio?
No, probably. Yeah. I think he might do a Szoboszlai Diddle right back. And get Vert in the 10. And do Gravenberch, Jones, and Vert do Szoboszlai right back. Because I want Frimpong to start against Galatasaray right back. That's why. And I don't know what Frimpong can do right now.
I could see the diddle there with him at the right back. I was wondering, I could kind of expect Robertson here, except for I really want Robertson to start Wednesday. So, but for that, I think I start Kirkes here again. For the plain fact that I do think we will have a lot of the ball at times. I do think it'll be up and down. I'm more okay with Frimpong using his craziness and his hustle and his intensity in a Premier League match. And I just feel like I need that second set of trusted hands at home for the Galatasaray match.
Let me ask you the question, which I asked Maka yesterday. What's the bigger match, Spurs or Galatasaray? Now let me press with this while you're thinking. Bear in mind that Man United are playing Villa and Chelsea are playing Newcastle. What's the bigger footy match?
Oh, I mean, I think every league match is bigger at this moment.
Okay, interesting.
I'm not saying it, and I'm not saying that it's not. The reason is I hate to say it. We've seen what happens when this club misses out on Champions League. Yeah. The difference of that money, it does hit the club for years. Like it resets budgets, it changes things. I think coming off the spend they had, I think it's vital. And not just is it vital for the club financially, I think it's vital for the movement of this club getting back on track. That they are in Champions League football next year. They're all going off to a World Cup. Some players will be angling to leave. We're going to want to sign some new players. And I know we can draw players, even if we're not in the Champions League. We've proven that, just like United proved it last summer. But I don't know that we're drawing Florian Wirtz. And I know we're not trying to sign that player. I don't think Isak's going on a hunger strike and a work strike and a labor strike to force a move to Liverpool to play, in the Arctic Circle in the Europa League next year.
So if I told you then which game you can only win one, are you picking Spurs?
That's hard because now I'm
No.
voluntarily leaving the club. No, I'm not. If I can only win one, I'm not, because I hate to say it. It's also because I don't have a lot of faith right now in Villa. I think Chelsea is Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think United is the one. If you ask me, if I had to put, galley money on one of the 4 teams getting into those top 3 spots, I think I would put my money on United. And that makes me not only want to throw up in my mouth.
So you think Villa don't finish in the top 5? Is that what you think?
I don't actually. I think they're going to start to prioritize the Europa League.
I'm the same as you a little bit there, and that's their way in the Champions League. I'm a bit with you. The reason why I ask, I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50.
That's a great question, actually.
I don't know what the bigger match is. I don't know what the bigger game is. I have no idea. But do I feel like Liverpool? I think Liverpool will win. I think it'll be 2-0. I think it'll be a bit of a dog match. But I don't think it's going to be as wide open as what people think, or it will be wide open, but I just don't think it's going to be as easy as what people think. Liverpool don't create hundreds of chances in games as much as we want them to.
I don't know why I feel this, and there's no empirical evidence to put forward that would make you say that this is a sound comment, other than the fact that Galley's saying it, so it doesn't have to be sound. I feel like this is going to be a mad match. Like, I think this could be like a 5-2, but doesn't feel comfortable.
It could happen.
I don't know why I feel this way. Maybe it's because I'm considering it for my fantasy team because I'm doing so terribly. But I'm dead serious. I just have this feeling that we might get an 80-minute vintage Mo Salah performance where he literally scores 2 and creates 2 and is the best player on the pitch, and he torments a fullback and a backup center back, and they just get him in positions. Like I said, there is no reason to believe that or to feel that, but
Mo Salah scoring nearly every week still.
I just feel like this is what's going to happen. I don't know why. I think it's written in the cards that this could be a big week for him.
Maybe I'm a bit like maybe I'm a bit of a pessimist here, not pessimist, optimistic. Sorry. I don't think the drop-off has been as bad as what people think. I just don't think it's been as bad as what people think. I really don't, and that's my opinion. I think.
I think he set standards. I think he said if he doesn't have last year, and he had even the year before that where he was good, but he wasn't otherworldly good and didn't get the big contract. I just feel like people thought, oh, he scored so many goals last year, and then we bring in Wirtz and we bring in Isak, he's going to be even better. I don't think that was ever going to be the case.
The plan was
to move away from him.
We're taking the goals off him. Because that was the part of the follow-through plan. People go, well, how do you replace Mo Salah? You don't. You replace him in other part of the pitch.
They bought 3 players to replace 1.
To get the goals and the assists that this lad gets. So you just sign a standard right winger. You just sign a right winger who can kind of, like a Kudus, for example, if Spurs go down. Like, he can just do the job there for you. And then Isak can pick up the pieces. I just don't think it's been as bad as what people think. Liverpool are sitting top of the league, mate, and Isak's got 25, and Ekatiké's got 12, and Mo Salah's got 5. Would anyone be losing their head about Mo Salah? No. It's because Liverpool are shite. That's why everyone's losing their head about Mo Salah, and I just don't think it's been as bad. If you look at his last 10 games for Liverpool, I think he's contributed Nathan a goal or an assist.
Yeah,
by the way, he should have got an assist against City at home, and Ekatike misses an absolute sitter from the pass of the season from Mo Salah. So as much as, yes, he is frustrating me. He can't control the ball at times. He can't lock the ball. He can't beat a man. But that comes down to the other part I was mentioning before. Protect him. Protect him a little bit. Just put your arm around him. But again, I'm just a bit, I don't know. I feel like it's just
I think I heard you say it earlier, 2-0. That's your prediction?
Yeah. But I do I know what you're going with, the 5-2, 5-3 kind of dog end.
Yeah, just crazy.
I can see that. I think if either team scores in the first 5, it could be anything. It could be 6-4. It could be anything if someone scores in the first 5. But I don't think Liverpool will want that. I'm interested to see how Spurs are going to approach this now with no centre halves. The last thing you want to do is come in and go, we'll defend and we'll get on our bye. Liverpool will pick it off. You may as well go out and attack, and then the space will open for Liverpool. But yeah, I do expect 3 or 4 changes gone for the team.
All right. Well, everybody out there, thank you for your comments. Thank you to everyone who joined in, watched the show. This was your therapy session. Up the Reds. Let's fucking win.